Time by, it's time to wave. We thank you for coming to us to ARCA Series Super Series combination event. We want you to move, we want you to get up, we want you to stand up. Come on, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. This is Memorial Day Monday here in Illiana Speedway. This is Calypso, Lemonade 150. This is Motor Wars 2. Continuing on in our starting lineup, the 13th starting position, Jonathan Island from Hampton, Minnesota. The Island and Sons Trucking, Trailer Trucking 77. Starting 14th, Anthony Ganta, Carverton 1. Orland Park, Illinois, he calls home. Automation Crafts LLC and Illiana Racing Chevrolet. Starting in 15th, the Summer Series Programs Field Dynamics Incorporated 4 from Cowboy, Illiana, driving 33 in his left here, Virginia. Alongside him, the Green Greenville Park and J. Trucking 4. The 4th is coming in 39. As the field picks up the pace to get a couple of warm-up laps in before the start of the race today, Andrew Morrissey, number 39, is followed by Brandon Watson, number 9. Staying on your way, handed in driving the Schereville Products Oil Distributing Chevrolet. Starting in position number 18 is Mike White out of Creek, Illinois, the Auburn Supply Company, TMC Auto, Chevy 00, Mike White. Starting in 19, the TJ Racing Lubricants McGinley Performance 4 from your time. Number 26, the Wine-Town Hustler, Rick Turner, starts 19. Alongside him, the Cobra Auto Body. Sheffield GMC Chevrolet from Couch, Indiana, the 33, Jeff Cannon. Row number 11, the 70 of Eric Darnell from Beach Park, Illinois, the AMI Trailer Leasing, Darnell Motorsports Chevrolet. And on Eric Darnell's outside, it's going to be Ali Kern from Fremont, Ohio, the Crown Battery, by Box 3. 428, Ali Kern, last year's CRA points runner-up. Starting 23rd, the Chiefs Marine Services Blue 82 Club Chevrolet from Midlothian, Illinois. The number 96 of John Nutley, and alongside him, the Sims Custom Countertops 5 Mile Speed Shop 4 from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada. The 147 Jordan Sims. We'll find the two starters in the 25th position. Midnight Crew Towing, Alpine Mountain Waters Ford, number 31 from Cedar Lake, Indiana. Two-time Late Model Sportsman champion of CRA, Keith Sturkowitz, and Brandon Hermiller. Bring up the tail of the field. Position number 26 from Walker, Michigan. The HS Diet Engineering, Busy TSD Software Board. Hermiller starts 26. 1 and 6 starters ready for green. And Motor Wars 2, the Calypso Lemonade 150. For the ARCA Midwest Tour, the ARCA CRA Super Series powered by Jags. Along with Matt Weir, I'm out of Matt. Green flag ready to fall. Turn number 4. She's on top. He's got the green flag. And Brian Campbell, Jason Wyckoff on a 4. Green flag. We are racing here in Illiana Motor Speedway. Good start on the outside lane for Jason Wyckoff. Down into turns 1 and 2. Wyckoff goes into the lead. Campbell drops in line in second. Robinson third. Robinson's car was better on the short runs earlier on in that 15-lap, make it 12-lap race that he ran for the Fast Dash earlier. Leading lap number 1, Jason Wyckoff. Braden now will set his sights on fast qualifier Chris Wyckoff in the 75 machine. This time by 26 laps completed. As Jason Wyckoff continues to show the way, Brian Campbell still lurking right there in the 47. In no hurry, there's a long way to go in this Calypso Lemonade 150. As I said earlier, it's kind of tough to set the pace, kind of conserve when you're the leader. But right now, he's dropped into that second spot, maybe by design, maybe trying to just ride behind Wyckoff, see how quick he goes, and be settled in maybe for about lap 50 or so, or maybe he's going to go sooner. I think the Wyckoff car may be starting to drop off a bit. You can tell that because everybody else is closing back in, including the 5 of Robinson, which we thought might fade early on. 6-car train coming out of turn number 4. Trouble in turn number 3. Brandon Watson goes off the track. Puffs of smoke coming from the back end of the Sheer Metal Products Chevrolet. Cannot make it. We will throw the yellow flag, our first caution flag of the afternoon. Not totally sure what the problem is with the number 9 car of Watson down the backstretch. At first I thought it looked like something in the rear end broke. As the pace truck pulls on to pit road behind turns 3 and 4, Wyckoff and Campbell lead them out of turns 3 and 4. Tom White, the green, we're back underway. Everyone looking good coming off of the 4th corner. They're going to be able to cross the line clean and green down into turn 1. Campbell still fighting in the outside lane. What a run off of turn number 2 for the Wyoming, Michigan driver, Brian Campbell. He shoots into the lead, middle of the backstretch. Heading to 3, Campbell half car length advantage over Wyckoff.
This time by lap 29, your new leader, Brian Campbell, the number 47. Mentioned right before the start, I figured the outside lane might be good later in this event. Brian Campbell proving it's good right now.
And so did Cardell Potter earlier in the 58. We saw him move up in the outside lane over the first 7 laps or so of the race. Saw one driver get down a couple of tires into the grass in turn number 3. That's Swan in the 97. As Potter looks back to the outside. Pretty dicey right now, Matt, not only for the 3rd position as Hoffman moves up in the 2nd lane, but from about 6 on back, we're double wide through the rest of the field.
Eddie Hoffman restarted in 4th. He's up to 3rd as he gets by Majeski. Now he'll work on Jason Weinkoff for that 2nd spot. Hoffman dives to the bottom, going into turns 1 and 2. Weinkoff slams the door, going into 1. Coming out of 2, Hoffman trying to open it back up.
Slammed the door briefly, but then he gave him room. Just in case Hoffman was to his inside, he gave him a little bit of room, but the outside lane pretty good to hold off and hold down the momentum of the driver that's looking to the low side, and Eddie Hoffman has to drop back in line in 3rd, followed by Majeski. And then our 5th place car right now, top qualifier, Chris Weinkoff.
Dana trying to muscle his way past Cardell Potter in the number 58 machine. Ross Kenseth, Paul Schaefer Jr. right there as well. Just behind Schaefer to 39 of Andrew Morrissey in a battle. Jonathan Island is behind him, while Jeff Cannon is on his outside.
Andrew Morrissey, car number 39, racing into turn number 1 on the low side of Jeff Cannon. Going to be a black flag coming up for the 97 of Swan, I believe. So Swan with a right rear, smoking. And you see the smoke coming off of the Swan 97, and that's a bad break. He's been running pretty well. Do not see a tire rub, Matt, so something going wrong underneath that number 97 mechanically.
Tough break for the 2013 ARCA Midwest Tour Rookie of the Year, James Swan, the 97. He'll slow down and go up high in the high groove, and he'll make his way off the track. Tough break for Swan. We got trouble in the backstretch. Ali Kern turns it around in turn number 2.
Kern had slowed just moments ago and then spins coming off of turn number 2. Caution flag is out. 42 laps on the scoreboard. And yellow flag for the Fremont, Ohio driver, Ali Kern. Notice coming down the front stretch the last time by, Ali Kern slowed, went down into 1 and 2, came out of turn number 2 and looped it on her own. Ali Kern spinning on her own coming off of turn number 2. Something was going wrong with that race car because she had slowed on the front stretch. She spins, she gets the caution. We'll see if they work on the car in the pits. And getting ready for a restart. We've completed 42. Remember, just after 75 at the conclusion of that lap. We will go to a halfway break. Tom White looks the field over. Green is back in the air, and we're back underway, and Campbell has a rough restart.
Campbell possibly missing a shift on that restart. Now everyone making it almost 3 wide. Coming on a turn number 2. Campbell gathers it back up, gets back going in the 47, and Campbell showing that power in that 47 machine. Despite the mistake, will lead him out of 4.
He was able to stay alongside, but he pushed up quite high. In fact, Hoffman looked to maybe thread the needle for a moment. Then the inside car, Weinkoff, down in turn 2. When he pushed high, Majeski's looked to the bottom, thought about making it 3 wide, didn't. A little hairy up in our top 5 spots. Eddie Hoffman moves up to 2nd.
And Travis Braden working his way through the field. The number 01 machine, he is up to 6. Working on fast qualifier, Chris Weinkoff going into turns 1 and 2. Braden trying to make that outside lane work. Ty Majeski does make it work around Jason Weinkoff. Braden had electrical issues in the first 2 points races for the ARCA Series Super Series. The car acting the exact same as it did at Toledo and again at Anderson last month. Tough break for Braden. He'll try to hang on with just a single lap to go into the break.
Brian Campbell sounded like he was almost half throttle coming by the finish line that time. He is saving equipment right now, and it doesn't seem to matter. His lead is the biggest he's had during the course of the race. Brian Campbell in the 47, outstanding as you hear him come by the front straightaway. Sounds like he's just out there on a little Sunday or Monday cruise.
Halfway home that time by. 75 laps completed, 75 laps to go. It is Brian Campbell, your leader in the 47. As next time Campbell comes by, he'll see the yellow flag from Chief Starter Tom White. Ty Majeski 2nd, Eddie Hoffman 3rd. The Weinkoffs 4th and 5th.
And there is the yellow flag. We've completed the first 75 of this one. Caution flag is out. The halfway break is here.
So we are halfway home, 75 laps completed, 75 laps to go. They will move to the infield. The rest of the field will move to the quarter mile. And as soon as they're stopped, they will have 10 minutes to make any adjustments that they can, but they cannot change tires. This is a 4-tire race, but they can make all the adjustments that they want, and in the case of Travis Braden, possibly fix a lingering electrical issue on that West Virginia University Chevrolet. But nevertheless, no tires can be changed. Brian Campbell, perhaps looking at a little bit of history here this afternoon. Coming into the weekend, he has 13 career ARCA CRA Super Series wins. With a victory here this afternoon, he would move into a tie for 5th all-time in career wins in ARCA CRA Super Series competition with former champion Jeff Lane.
Saw Brett Robinson, one of our top 5 earlier in the race. He went off with problems underneath the rear end of that car. We also saw the 97 of Swan be sent pit side with a black flag. It was because of a hole in the oil pan. That's why Swan went to the pits and is out of action. A couple of our drivers that were up there challenging for top 5 and top 10 positions. 75 complete, 75 to go. Border Wars 2, the Calypso Lemonade 150 for the ARCA Midwest Tour and the ARCA CRA Super Series. Pace truck about to pull in. Green flag about to wave. Do we see more aggressive driving in the final 75 today, or is what we saw in the first half about what we're going to see in the final 75? It is Brian Campbell, the leader, in the 47. Ty Majeski in the 91 to the green, coming off of 4.
Tom White throws that green flag in the air. We're back underway. And Brian Campbell will lead him into turns 1 and 2. Majeski staying right there on the inside. They are side by side going down the backstretch.
Jason Weinkauf, not a very good restart from the 3rd position on the inside lane in that 76. Watching Travis Braden to see if he gets up to speed. Looks like he's pulling out of the way. Problems continue for Travis Braden.
Island on the inside. Kenseth. As they go into 3, Island has to slam the brakes as Kenseth goes to the inside of Weinkauf. Nothing doing coming out of 4.
Kenseth had him squeezed just enough to keep his momentum away, and that's why Island had to check up. Kenseth going to go to the bottom now. Going to try to make another run on Weinkauf. I think the Weinkauf car really holding Kenseth up. Kenseth's car not quite as good on the bottom as it is on the top.
Kenseth again looks to the inside of Chris Weinkauf. Battle for the 5th spot. Jonathan Island right there as well. Behind them, Paul Schaefer Jr. is running in the 8th position. Anthony Dana is 9th in the 51. Andrew Morrissey rounding out the top 10. But up front it is Brian Campbell as he approaches the back of the lead pack cars.
50 laps to go at the line that time. 50 final paces around the Illiana Motor Speedway for the 47 of Brian Campbell. Boy, the 01 of Travis Braden sounded terrible going down the straightaway. He's right in front of that battle between Weinkauf and then the pair of 77s, Kenseth and Jonathan Island.
Brian Campbell about to approach the back bumper. A fellow West Michigan competitor, Brandon Hermiller, the number 6 machine. Hermiller goes the inside in an attempt to let Campbell get by. Ty Majeski and Eddie Hoffman are closing the gap in a hurry thanks to the traffic.
Kenseth wants to be in that second groove so bad. He cannot keep it on the bottom. He's been trying hard. He's in fact rubbed, I think, the 75 of Weinkauf a time or two. He wants that second groove, but that's right where Weinkauf is running. It opens the inside for the 77 of Island. It's go time now for the pair of 77s caught behind the top qualifier.
They're still side by side going into 3 and 4 with Chris Weinkauf, your fast qualifier this afternoon. In front of those pair of 77s. Kenseth working that outside, gets back by Island going into turns 1 and 2, but Island tough on that bottom groove.
That is a mishap waiting to happen there between those 3 because they just are not quite good enough on the bottom to get by the 75 of Weinkauf. 7 of Schaefer has lost a position to the 51 of Danta on that last lap.
Up front, Ty Majeski took the lead. We were watching the 77, and Ty Majeski just went by the 47 of Brian Campbell to take over the lead.
Almost looks like some sort of an issue for Brian Campbell. So good for so long in this race, and all of a sudden, Brian Campbell has been overtaken by not only the leader, which is now the 91 of Majeski, but also the number 8 of Hoffman, and Campbell's car has gone away in the corners. Something going wrong with a Campbell 47 here at Illiana.
Up front, Ty Majeski, your leader. Eddie Hoffman lurking in second spot. This is where Eddie Hoffman has been strong time and time again as he is in second. In the meantime, Brian Campbell's free fall continues. He is back to the 6th position in the number 47 and falling. Even Brandon Hermiller had to slow down to avoid not hitting the slowing Campbell.
Hermiller not one of the lead lap cars, letting the lead lap cars go around as Brian Campbell has really dropped off the pace, trying to see what may be wrong with that 47 car. Thought maybe he'd have a tire equalizing or something on that automobile because he was really struggling at first in the corners. Now he's just slow all the way around trying to hang on to the car. Brian Campbell, who was definitely the favorite in this one, was the strongest car out there. He and Braden both with issues. And sometimes, Matt, it's not all about who is fastest, it's just you got to get to the end. As they roll under green, Campbell in the 47 back out on the bottom lane, heading down the front stretch. Campbell's luck terrible today. Had the fastest car on the racetrack for much of the race. Move over flag being waved valiantly on the front straightaway on the starter stand as the 51 of Danta goes around the 96 of Nutley. Also moving there is the 77 of Kenseth after Dana got by him on the inside lane not long ago. We've got less than 30 laps to go in this one, Matt.
And Ty Majeski trying to hang on. Eddie Hoffman is just lurking back there in turn behind in second spot as Majeski and Hoffman go careening through turns 3 and 4.
Side by side through corner number 4. It's the 87 of Haslai, 33 of Griffith. Haslai able to get around him. Griffith moving over to the bottom. Campbell's car back up to speed now as he has that tire changed on the left rear. Had to be a handful for Campbell with that big lead. Car gets looser and looser and looser with that left rear going down.
123 laps completed, 27 laps to go. Ty Majeski continues to show the way, trying to put some real estate between himself and the number 8 of Eddie Hoffman. As they go into 3 and 4, they put a lap in the 26 of Rick Turner, just in front of Majeski, the 6 of Brandon Hermiller, possibly going down a second lap. And Majeski catching Griffith Jr., Cannon, and Kenseth going into 3 and 4. This could possibly be a little bit of trouble for Ty Majeski. Kenseth still on the lead lap, having a heck of a time. Get by those already lapped cars. Majeski has caught him.
He's boxed in a little bit, is Majeski right now. Down to the final 3 laps at the line this time. Kenseth, the final car on the lead lap, works around Cannon. Majeski's car is just bolted. That car is hooked up. It's been that way all day long. And now he moves by Kenseth, heading into turn 1. 5 cars left on the lead lap. Plenty of green flag racing this afternoon.
Eddie Hoffman has more ground to make up and 2 lap cars in between him and race leader Ty Majeski. He'll get the 2-lap pick-o signal this time. 148 in, 2 to go for the 19-year-old.
Now working by Griffith, who wiggles a little bit in front of him. It will be the 91 of Majeski clearing him. Now it's Eddie Hoffman's turn to work around those 3 that Majeski did not long ago. I think one more car between the checkered flag coming up next time around for Ty Majeski. Mike White moves over to the inside. Majeski goes clear on the high side, and he's got clear sailing ahead.
The 19-year-old from Seymour, Wisconsin, the youngest driver, one of the youngest drivers in the field, makes his way through turns 3 and 4. On a turn number 4, his first career win is a big one. He wins Border Wars 2, the Calypso Lemonade 150.
Majeski followed by the 8 of Hoffman, finishing in the 3rd spot. Will be the 87 of Haslai. No, Island gets him at the line. Jonathan Island takes 3rd away from Haslai. And finishing 5th, good run for Anthony Dana in the 51.
Ty Majeski, your leader, the 91. Eddie Hoffman, 2nd. Jonathan Island, 3rd. Nathan Haslai, 4th. Anthony Dana, good run for the weekly competitor, runs in 5th. Race fans, a big round of applause for all the cars and stars. The ARCA Midwest Tour, presented by Skag Power Equipment and the ARCA CRA Super Series, powered by Jags. This young man picking a great race to win his first career ARCA Midwest Tour triumph. And it was Border Wars 2, the 2nd and final combination race with the ARCA CRA Super Series. Young man, 19 years old, out of Seymour, Wisconsin. Crew chief Toby Noodleman on the pit box, calling the shots.